StarPower, the most useless currency in My Singing Monsters. Just kidding. There have actually been some minor but very significant changes to what you can do with StarPower that in my opinion has made this the most underrated currency type in the game. In fact, with the addition of the fire expansion monsters, StarPower has become exponentially more valuable by providing the possibility of perhaps the best type of coin farming in the entire game, namely rare fire expansion quad farms. This type of farming is almost entirely unknown in the MSM community, but holds great potential. However, before we dive into this, I think we should first go through how StarPower works and how you get it. StarPower is a currency added to My Singing Monsters back in 2015. The main use of StarPower is to purchase decorations and monsters from the starshop, which is a dedicated part of the market where everything you purchase costs StarPower. Here you can buy decorations that don't exist in the normal market, as well as buy rare monsters at times when they are available. Some monsters, in particular the rare fire expansion monsters, cannot be bred and must be acquired through the starshop. Unlike other currencies which can be obtained through many different ways, StarPower is very limited in the ways you can earn it. As of the release of this video, there are only 3 ways to increase your StarPower in the game. So the first way of earning StarPower is through bonus items. Leveling up a monster beyond level 15 enables you to get a chance of earning bonus rewards when you collect the monster's currency. The bonus item can be one of 5 different things, StarPower being one of them. However, for each StarPower bonus reward you get, you only earn 5 StarPower. Bonus items are great for keys, relics and diamonds, but when it comes to StarPower, the benefit is basically useless, because most purchases with StarPower range in hundreds or thousands. Therefore, bonus items won't get you far in earning StarPower. The next way of getting StarPower is through playing the Colosseum versus challenges. My understanding of the Colosseum is limited because I don't actually play it. However, from what I have read, the rewards here aren't great either. Finishing some of the tiers in versus events will give you a small amount of StarPower, usually 100. This is only rewarded to you after completing one of the 5 tiers per challenge, and you can only do it once for every event. This is likewise a way of getting StarPower which is really just not worth the effort. I would definitely not recommend this for StarPower purposes. The only real and significant way of earning StarPower in My Singing Monsters is then through the third method, which is Tribal Island rewards. When you participate in a tribe on Tribal Island, you will accumulate StarPower that gets rewarded to you each week. The amount you get is determined by both the overall level of the tribe as well as your own contribution to that tribe. How much you will get can be calculated using this formula. First you add the tribe's total level, then you add 5 times of your own monster level, plus an amount more which ranges from -200 to 1000 StarPower in a full tribe. We don't actually know how to calculate this amount, but according to the wiki, it is usually higher for low level tribes with uneven levels between the monsters. So essentially, by participating in a high level tribe and contributing by feeding your own monsters, you can increase your StarPower income rapidly. But what is the best way to level up your Tribal Island monster? There are 3 different currencies that can be used: coins, food and shards. The first 2 options give you a very bad trade-off, and you need a huge amount of food and coins to level up your tribe monster only slightly. For shards, however, using them to level up your tribe monster is a brilliant idea. If you have advanced far enough into the game, this should also be the main way you spend your shards, because what else you can use them for is somewhat limited. If you are interested in the best ways of getting shards, I recently made a video about that too, so I recommend checking it out after you finish this video. One thing that I cover in that video is that you can generate an incredible amount of shards without much effort required by creating single elemental farms on Ethereal Island and Magical Sanctum. If you breed twice a day and use double breeding structures, which I highly recommend, a full ethereal island farm should take 38 days, while a full magical sanctum farm should take 45 days. Combined, they will ensure you an income of well over 1 million shards every week. This graph is very handy. It shows what tribe monster level you can reach with the amount of shards you pay. And if you just check this graph, you can see that this income will enable you to get your monster way past level 150. This is basically high enough to put you in one of the world's leading tribes. That is obviously an enticing bragging right, but the reason that all of this is so important is because being able to feed your monster to a level this high and being able to join a top tribe will ensure you a really high weekly income of star power. I will show you the math. That will be 5,650 star power each week, assuming you and every other player in the tribe level their monster to 150. It might be tricky for the average player to find a level 150 requirement tribe, and unless you happen to have one among your friends, there's actually a page on the My Singing Monsters wiki where you can connect with tribes of your wanted level. I'm putting the link on screen as well as in the description. The reason I chose 150 at the starting point is because this level is relatively easy to achieve each week with basic shard farms. Yes, it is pretty easy. However, that doesn't mean you can't also exceed that. The only issue is that each level requires exponentially more shards than the prior one, so the rewards will eventually diminish and become obsolete in relation to the cost. However, if you were to use every single strategy in my shard farm video, including the most advanced ones, you would be able to generate a weekly income of 4,300,000 shards per week, which would allow you to level your tribe monster to 235 and give you 8,625 star power each week. However, doing this is pretty much impossible and not worth the effort. The point I was trying to get across though is that you can get a high star power income without much effort, and because the rewards diminish the more you spend, lower level players get a great chance to catch up. So why is this important then? Well, as I told you in the beginning of the video, the fire expansion monsters open up the possibility of very powerful coin farms on the magical islands. The popular option to farm on these islands are currently the magical quads. These are very easy and quick to get. However, the fire expansion quads on the same islands enable an even higher coin income without taking any more beds. However, as you might note, the ordinary fire expansion monsters are extremely expensive, costing 300 relics each. The rare counterparts, however, which are purchased in the starshop using StarPower, are significantly easier to get by because StarPower is useless. And they also provide an even higher coin production rate. In fact, it's so high that it surpasses even epic robots. In fact, the only monsters that beat them in coin rate are their own epic counterparts as well as the fire quints. There are 2 fire quads available on each magical island. They are all somewhat similar in coin production rate to one another, but there's still a slight difference. So let's outline which one you should farm for each island. The overall best monster among them is Incisor on Bone Island. It has a coin production rate of 678 per minute. For Light Island, Tayawa is preferable over Yelmut. Edamimi is preferable to Bisonoris on Psychic Island. And Krilby is preferable to Pongping on Fairy Island. If we compare this to the magical quads, we can see that Plinkaju's 424 coins per minute is pretty small in comparison to Rare Incisor's 678. One fire expansion quad costs 10,000 star power, which is a lot, I know. However, the convenient thing is that these are frequently on 50% sale, so in reality you will be able to purchase them for 5,000 star power each. That means that you can purchase one quad every week at level 150 tribe monsters. Paying 5,000 star power for rare fire quads when you can just get the common magical quads for free might seem a bit stupid to some players, but what else are you supposed to spend your star power on? Most advanced players I know of sit on literal mountains of star power that they have accumulated over multiple years, not having found anything useful to spend it on. So I think that this strategy will be very helpful for many. Now you might be asking, why would you get the rare quads of the fire expansion monsters when there are quints available? This is because the quints actually have a lower coin production per bed, which means that you can have less monsters in total, leading to a reduction in coin income. Therefore the quads are much better. You can have a total of 45 quads before you run out of beds on one of the magical islands. We can then calculate the income of an entire such farm. With rare Incisor, that would be over 17 million coins per collection, or around 34 million coins per day from just one island. And that's pretty incredible. I would recommend getting these farms on your mirror islands so that you can decorate however you want on your regular islands. So as I told you, this strategy is a contender for the best coin farming strategy in the entire game. So let's compare it to Wordle farming, which is the best advanced coin farming strategy. It essentially depends on you buying Wordos with relics that you have earned through an Amber Island relic farm. This could be either a Cana farm, a Vivine farm, or just random monsters on Amber Island. A full such farm will likely take over a year of sapping monsters into vessels to finish. Compare this to the shard farms that the fire expansion quad farm depends on. It takes only 45 days to complete those, and you don't even need to put in a lot of effort, such as sapping monsters from many islands. You just need to breed twice a day on Ethereal Island and Magical Sanctum. Although after completion the Amber Island relic farm will allow you to buy Wordos more frequently than the shard farm will be able to buy you fire quads. The differences in difficulty and the similar coin production yields of Wordos versus rare fire quads means that this is an excellent strategy overall, and especially for intermediate players who want to advance quickly and excel past the high level players. Alright, let's briefly recap the currency exchange processes. First you establish shard farms. You then spend the shards generated by those to level up your tribal island monster, which is then converted into star power at the end of each week. Then you spend that star power to purchase rare fire quad monsters with a high coin production. This strategy then basically creates a way for you to indirectly convert your shards into coins, which I think is pretty neat. Yeah, that was basically all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope that you have come to understand star power better than you did before. And I also hope that you try out this coin farming strategy and get some powerful magical island farms. I'm again going to recommend to you my shard farming video. It is probably the best video on the topic out there, and the stuff I cover is also necessary to get those required shard farms up and running. I also have many more similar Mising Monster strategy videos that you could check out if you would like to. Yeah, see you in the next video.